Hello, this is Lucas. Welcome to another Java tutorial. In this video, we will be going over linked lists. Now, we already went over array lists, which are very similar to linked lists. Now, I'm not going to go over the differences between an array list and a linked list. I'm going to save that for a separate video. So in this video, I'm only going to go over what is a linked list. Okay, so if you want to find out what an array list, I made a video before that. And then if you want to see a comparison between an array list and a linked list, stay tuned. I will make a video on an array list versus a linked list, which one is better, which one should be used. But for this video, I'll just go over what a linked list is. So a linked list is just a class that we can use in order to store a collection of many objects of the same data type, just like the array list. So first thing that we need to do is we need to import the linked list, just like we did with the array list. So we'll just do import java.util. Now we can just import everything. This will import the linked list that we are using. But if you want just to import the linked list, then we can just specify the linked list like this. This will just import the linked list and nothing else from the Java util class. So now we can start actually using it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make the linked list. Let's say that we want to store a list of names, for example, right? So let's create ourselves the linked list. So we're going to write linked list. Now we're going to specify the data type that we want to store. Do we want to store integers, strings, or any other value? That's, for this example, we'll just be storing strings. So we'll just write string, and then we'll just write names, and we will equal that to a new linked list, and then we have to specify the value again. Now actually the thing is, we don't actually have to specify a value here. We can just leave it like this. We can just specify the string here, but we can also specify the name here. This isn't needed, but we can do it as well. So but I'm just going to leave it in, and now we can actually start adding values into our list. So what we can do is we can do names.add, and we can just add a string. Let's say the very first name that we want to add is, for example, something like John. Then we'll do names.add. We will add in, we'll do something like Peter. And the very last one we'll do is, let's say, we will add in a name called Sophia. Alright, so we have added 3 names to our linked list. So what we can do now is we can actually just print out the entire linked list by just doing a print statement, and we just have to specify the actual name of our linked list. So we'll do names, and if we print this out, you can see we get the value, or we get every single value that we have added in. We get John, Pierre, and Sophia. We can do names, then we can do dot, and then we can do get. Now if we do get, we can specify the index that we want to get. So if we leave this as 0, it will get the very first value. If you print that out, see we get John. Obviously, if we want to get the second value, we'll do 1, and then we'll get Pierre, just like that. So that's the way that we can add it in, and how we can print it, and how we can get the values that we have added in, including we can get everything. We don't have to specify the dot get. If you just do names, prints out the entire linked list. Now there's a couple of other things that we can do which are pretty cool. So this is our current linked list. But what we can do is, it's very cool. We can do names dot, and then we can do add first, and let's say in here we'll add in Thomas. If I run this, you can see that we add Thomas, but instead of adding Thomas to the very end like we did here, you can see that we added John first. John came up, then we added Peter, then Peter was in the second index. But if we do add first, then this will add this string as the very first value. Okay, which I find pretty cool. Now, we can also do something like names.add last. The only thing with this is, let's say we add in the name Kira. The only thing with this, add last, we don't need the add last, because by default when we do add, it will add it to the very end of our list. So by doing add last, it just does the exact same thing as add. So I kind of find this unuseful, I guess. It's not really needed because we can do just add and it will just do the exact same thing. Alright, so add and add last do the exact same thing. A couple of other things that we can do. We can do names dot remove and we can specify the index that we want to remove. So we can do, let's say, yeah, if you do 0, what that's going to do is it's going to add the very first value. You can see the very first value we have here is Thomas because we added it to the very first. If we run this, you can see that we removed it and we no longer have Thomas. We can also do remove last, but if we do that, we don't have to specify the index because we're just removing the very last element, which is going to be Kira. So if we run this, you can see that Kira gets removed. A couple of other things that we can do. So this is the one that we have at the moment. We have 5 values in here. We can do we can specify the name. So we have names dot, and then we can do get. So we can do get. I can specify the index, but now we can also get first. So this would just get the very first one, Thomas, which acts as the same way as get 0. It's the exact same thing. Names dot get and index 0 is the exact same thing as names dot get first. But what we can also do is we can do names dot get last, and then this would just get the very last value that we have input, which is Kira. Let's see, do we have input Kira here? Now let's say we want to loop through this. It's a bit different from looping through a normal array. Okay, so we'll create a for loop just like normal. We'll do for loop, then we'll do int I is equal to 0 for our counter. And then we will specify I is less than, and then we'll do names. But whenever we're using linked lists, we have to use get, and then we can specify I because that's our counter, and then we'll do semicolon I plus plus, and this. Ooh, what's the problem here? Oh, because that's get I. What we need to do actually is we need to do dot size. Where normal array we use the dot length to get the size of our array, but for a linked list or an array list we need to use the size. And now we can just print out the value in here. Ooh. So we can write in names dot get, and then we'll just specify the index, so which is I. And then we can print out all of the value used like that. So that's how we can use a linked list. It's very useful, it's very handy, and I recommend everyone using this. So I hope you enjoyed this video, hope this helped, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.